Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and spring to summer transformation has finally occurred here at my house. So we're going to take a walk through my home garden and show you all the different annuals, perennials, and shrubs that are currently blooming. For those of you who are new to our station, Garden Crossings is a mail order company that ships all over the United States. We also have a retail garden center located in Zeeland, Michigan. You can always shop online at gardencrossings.com. Let's take a walk through the garden. We're going to start the garden walk off at the front of my house. There's just a couple things that are still needing to be done, and that's our hanging baskets. So we're still kind of planning out what we want to do there. But this year what we did in our aqua pots at the front of either side of the garage are all new plant varieties for 2022. So this is just kind of a quick glimpse at some of the new varieties. I will be doing a video on these, specifically describing each and every variety in this container. And there also is another video out there of when I was planting them. So we'll stay tuned for a recap video of the new varieties. This year I did something very, very different. From those of you who've watched my videos for the past few years, you've noticed we always plant the Supertunia Vista bubblegum in our front yard. This year we're shaking it up and doing something different with planting the sun patiens. We've done sun patiens at the greenhouse for many years, and we thought, you know what, let's give the front of the house a different look. Let's see how they do here. I know they're not going to get as big as what the bubblegum did, creating that carpet effect, but I was just ready for a different look. So we'll see what they look like at the end of the summer. The aquapot here in the front corner, we have the new Supertunia Vista Jazzberry, along with Superbell's Dreamsicle and Superbell's Honeyberry. So excited to see how that does this summer. On either side of the front entryway, we have kind of a mix of things. We have the Superbina Sparkling Amethyst, along with Superbell's Sun Coral, and then this is the new Nemesia for 2023, along with the new grass for 2023. This is, I believe it's called Queen Princess. Drawing a blank. I'll put the name on the screen. But this is a new grass that's part of the cypress family. So we're excited to see how that does in the containers. In my aquapot up here by the front door, I've kind of done what I've done for many years, and that is the fuchsia fireworks. It's just really nice. Behind it, I planted a begonia Pegasus with some diamond snow. We've got these double yellow Superbells, and then a beautiful begonia here as well. So I'm excited to see how this will fill out as the season goes on. Here's another look at the other aquapot. Really a pretty colorful combination. We'll see how the Nemesia does throughout the summer. Sometimes it doesn't like the heat, but it seems like it's flourishing really well right now. So I'm just excited to continue to watch that. Along the front of the house there, those are Bobo hydrangeas. Got the Anna's Magic Ball Thuyas. My lilac is now done flowering, so we can go ahead and give this a trim. I'm hoping to trim it like in half because it's getting quite large. So we'll see how far we dare take it back. Making our way down the side of the hill, we continued with the sun patience, and these are the pot in the pot. So we have a pot buried in the ground, and then we plant into a pot and then put a dripper into there. That way we don't have to dig in the stones every year. It just kind of keeps the place with keeping that pot in the ground. This giant hydrangea here is the quick fire hydrangea. That is absolutely ginormous this year. As we go down the hill, we have the Bobo hydrangeas with Pugster butterfly bush. They're just starting to emerge. So this is very typical here in Michigan for them to do that. In this garden bed, we've got some hibiscus that are starting to wake up. We tucked a few little annuals in this area. This is a very hot area, so we don't do a ton in this area. These are all going to be hydrangeas blooming at some point this summer. One thing I did want to do is tuck in here because my Delosperma is blooming, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Hoping nothing creeps out from under these plants. Look at that gorgeous pink bloom. And there's the orange one. So these are great for like really hot, dry areas, and they're obviously a ground cover that kind of creeps and fills in spaces. They close at night, but during the day when the sun's out, they are just absolutely beautiful. Let's see. I'm going to walk my way through the garden here, hoping not to step on anything, and then I'll turn around. All right. So we've got these beautiful Allium gigantica. These are blooming right now. These are bulbs. We planted some Paint the Town, magenta, dianthus. Here's some new begonias for next year. So we're kind of doing a trial to see how they do. We have them both in a container and in ground plantings. Here are some new Campanula white clips. These are called Star Bright. These are going to be new for 2023 from Proven Winners. In the back up against the house there, that is a little lime snippet Weigela. We have a grouping of two of them there. Under the deck, we have some bleeding hearts that are blooming. All the annuals just got planted. So we're running sprinklers just to give them a good dose of water. We do have underground sprinkling, but we want to make for sure we're watering all these annuals in really well. So there's a lot of new varieties in here, especially in this area. So I will be sure to update you on them as they start to, well, they're blooming, but as the summer goes on. Right now they're kind of all waterlogged, so they're kind of weeping downward. But there's new petunias in here, new super bells, some new begonias, a lot of great fun things. So new lantana. So we'll talk about those as the season goes on. We've lined this bed here with the Vista Jazzberry, so I'm excited to see how that does. And tucked in between the Vista Jazzberry, we have the new Mini Vista, the yellow, that's new for 2023. And then that deep purple, almost black, that's a new, I think it's Supertunia Midnight. That will be new for 2023 as well. So we'll see how they do as the summer continues to go on. This area here has some Amsonia. That's the blue. It's all laid flat because like we're sprinkling, so they kind of fall flat when that happens. Got the Nepeta there, cat's pajamas on the corner. As we go up the side of the hill here, there's a little bit of creeping phlox that's still blooming, but we packed this side here with bubblegum, Supertunias, and Supertunia pretty much Picasso, or Picasso in purple. So they're pretty much shaded, but we'll see. They'll fill that space. Rod doesn't like any dirt showing, so we pack it full of whatever plants we might have. As we go over to the circle garden over here, I'm kind of keeping it consistent with what I've done for several years because I do love how the red looks in this garden. So in this space here, we have the Bloomerang Dwarf lilacs. They are just finished blooming. They're about 4 foot tall, 3 foot tall or so. Got the beautiful variegated of the My Monet Weigela. Those will be blooming shortly. There's some Atlas roses in here just ready to go. And then we've tucked in the red sun patiens just to give this garden a constant pop of color. Gorgeous blue sky today. It's actually a gorgeous day in the 70s. Like if this could be every day here in Michigan, I would be happy. So my butterfly bed, last year I tried lining it with a pink sun patient and it was okay, but I didn't love it. I was sick of the white, so I thought let's try something new, but that made me realize that, you know what, the white is really what looks best in this garden. Every color matches with white, so I think that's part of it. And I think white is just clean. Also, white is really nice at night because when it gets dark, white just glows in the dark. So this bed is fully lined with the white sun patiens. Some of the things flowering in here right now are the Nepeta cat's pajamas. There's a lot of lupin that are blooming. I love lupin, or lupine, depends how you say it. Look at that beautiful one right there. It's part of the Masterpiece series. Beautiful bicolor. Another tip, my delphinium. They get really tall, but they flop and crack. So we put them inside of a tomato cage to kind of hold them and keep them so they don't crack and flop over. Another lupine. There's some Asclepias kind of all scattered throughout this garden. That's kind of naturally seeded itself. If you're having a butterfly garden, you need to have the Asclepias if you want to have the monarchs. This little planter looks like it fell over, so I think we'll plant maybe some lemon coral sedum in there. That way it looks like hair. So I think that's what we'll do. In this bed, some of the annuals we popped in are the unplugged pink salvia, which are great for hummingbirds. There's some perennial salvia going on in here as well. And then you'll see the sunflower in the back. That's the Suncredible yellow sunflower. This here is firelight hydrangea. Sonic Bloom Pink Weigela just starting to bloom. This is a reblooming Weigela, so this will bloom up to 3 times throughout the summer with these beautiful pink blooms. Some more of the Allium Gigantica with a few more lupin. Some painted lady butterflies flying around. So those are the first butterflies that I've noticed here in the garden. We've got some Bobo hydrangeas. And then in this corner here, it's just really a dry little corner in this garden. So we planted some more drought tolerant plants. There's some salvia blooming right now. Head back to the hosta bed and take a look here. So the gardeners are here the last 2 days getting everything planted. I can't take credit for all this planting. We're at work working, and we have the gardeners here helping us out with planting. They do an excellent job. In this hosta bed here, we've had them tuck in a bunch of caladiums. So you'll see these little pops of pink and red, which is really gorgeous, just to kind of break up the green a little bit. I also had a lot of holes in this bed, so we put some of the new Proven Winner hostas in, kind of paying attention to, are they big hostas or small hostas, depending on where they went. In the back there, where you see in the far back that red, there was a big hole there, so we planted 3 of the new ones back there, so that space will quickly get filled in within the next couple of years. But I'm just loving all these little pokes of red breaking up the hostas with the caladiums. Here is a little space, so I thought let's put some pulmonaria there. This is the Spot On, so that will be nice for early spring color, probably before the hostas really, the leaves really uncurl. As we take the corner, we get a little bit more sun going on, so we kind of transition a little bit with the types of plants that we have. We lined the back of the garden bed this year with the Sun Patience Hot Pink, so that's going to look really pretty from a distance. Again, more caladiums got poked into this area. We put some more heuchera in because I had lost those over time, so we just put a few more of those in to give us the foliage color. So you'll see some little pokes of heuchera. We added a few more astilbe because this is a great spot for astilbe as well. And I did plant, had them plant 2 new of the hydrangeas. So we have Let's Dance Can out here and also Let's Dance Ariba. So I'm excited to see how those do in my garden. The big hosta in the back is Empress Wu. Look at the beautiful shiny caladium there. That's got great foliage color. There's some Atlas roses on the back of the bed here, along with some more Bobo hydrangea. Amsonia Storm Cloud is now finished, but that's that nice mounding here right in the center of the picture. Great bright blue foliage, early spring. There's a few echinacea, some rudbeckia, anemone, hibiscus. Those are some of the more flowering plants that are out here. We added Amsonia String Theory, which is right in here. So that I'm excited to see next year. But that also gets great fall foliage. So we'll see how it does for fall foliage as well. Allium Serendipity. We planted some tall phlox just to give us a big boost of color. So it'll be pretty once the phlox start blooming. Right up front here, this bright yellow is a spirea. The Tiarella or Heucherella on the side. Along the top of the hill are hydrangeas, the Incredible Blush. Put a few Geranium Roseanne behind the big hosta there just to give a little sprinkle of color. Geranium Roseanne is a great perennial that blooms virtually all summer long. So if you're looking for a long blooming perennial, Geranium Roseanne. Got the daylily bed that will be blooming probably in July. In the back, that bright yellow you're seeing, we'll zoom in. That there is Deutzia Chardonnay Pearls. Some more Amsonia blooming up there by the waterfall. Planted some of the Sage Advice Russian Sage behind the little boy and girl statue. The Sun Patiens lining this waterfall bed, these are Sun Patiens Purple. Let's take a look here. So the gales were in the back. Behind the berm here is a creek. And there's been a lot of weeds going on. So they've made a path here so that kind of gives us a little barrier between the weeds and the back of the garden. Oh, they did a great job. This looks wonderful. So we really need to get something to kill all these weeds because these are all thistle. So no weed is desirable, but thistle are awful. So hopefully we can come through and kill some of this thistle off. But it's nice, this nice barrier back here. This is great. Back in this little area here, there's some anemone, Henry Ayler's rudbeckia, a lot of hibiscus, perennial hibiscus, some phlox, some tall phlox, some of the early blooming phlox. So in another couple weeks or so, there'll be a lot more color. But I wanted you to see this video because everything was just planted. All the annuals were just planted. So I think it's going to be fun to watch how they continue to grow and fill out as the season goes on. This is a beautiful spirea. Tucked in here by the arbor, got some clematis that are starting to bloom. Looks like clematis stillwaters. We poked some coleus and some petunias. This dark foliage you're seeing, this is one of the new sweet potato vines for next year. It's a climbing sweet potato vine, so we'll see how that does. I kind of have it more as ground cover because I'm not giving it anything to climb, but we'll see. It'll be fun to watch. Beautiful Baptisia starting to bloom. Nice deep dark purple color there. This hibiscus here is coming out really nicely. Look at the great dark foliage on that. Albrido coleus is planted back there behind the lawnmower. We have some of the Mojave portulaca. That's an improved version, the yellow. So those will be fun to watch. We've got the Supertunia Mini Vista Scarlet, new for 2023. And then I have one of our Peruvian lilies, or Alstroemeria, planted in a row here in this bed. So this is something I'm really excited to kind of watch and see how they do and how they compare to one another. Now in Michigan here, these mostly are going to probably not live through the winter, and I'm fine with that because these are a great cut flower. So even if we're using them just as a cut flower, that's great. And I think it'll be neat to see side by side all the different colorations of these Peruvian lilies. These are all part of the Inca series. Got my clematis tower here, so that will be blooming probably in a month or so. We redid this garden bed here. So some of the things we put in it were the new reminiscent crema rose. Excited to watch that bloom. We've got some of the Magic Show Ever After Veronica that was just planted. Rockin' Locetum Bright Idea. These are all new varieties for it'll be late 2022. Bit of Honey Heliopsis. Along the back are a bunch of the new coneflowers for 2023. Double coated Raspberry Beret, color coded one in a melon. So we'll watch as those start to bloom. The sedum here we split, so that's why it's looking a little droopy. Got the beautiful Wine and Roses Weigela blooming. On this side we tried to kind of mimic the other side a little bit so that it looks even. So a lot of the same plants with the coneflowers, the salvia. We tucked a few bubblegum in there. In the back, we put a few of the new Agastache. There's Meant to Be Queen Nectarine, Meant to Be Royal Raspberry, and Agastache Blue Bayou. So we'll see how those grow throughout the summer. And to end the garden walk, this little area here, this was planted last year, and a lot of the things are really come back nicely. Heaven Sent Jacob's Ladder, that came back gorgeous. There's some lupin and some phlox in here along with some coneflowers, so those will be later season things. Penstemon Onyx and Pearls. Got a poppy blooming. So glad these did well for me. Usually poppies haven't done very well, but they all came back, so I'm excited about that. Got the incredible hydrangea. Stokesia is the broadleaf plant there. The annuals we poked in here are some of the some dahlias, along with the salvia unplugged, or the rockin' purple. Some new annuals for next year, lobelia and nemesia. Another Heaven Sent Jacob's Ladder, and then here's a few more of the new annuals for next year. Just kind of seeing what they do here. Oh, the purple. Those are new Campanula for next year as well. So really excited to watch as the garden continues to grow and fills out throughout the summer. This is just the beginning, and I think probably within the next month or so, it is going to be, it's amazing now, but it's just going to be absolutely amazing as everything puts on more growth and fills out. Hopefully you enjoyed this garden tour. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments below. If there's a certain point within the video, if you're wondering what a plant is, just let me know the time and I will try to identify the plant. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings. Thank you for walking through the garden with me today.